Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu mavid vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Annamalayai Adiyenai Anda Andre Aviyudal கொண்டாயனக்கோர் குறையுண்டோ குறையும் குணமும் நீயல்லால் என்னேனிவற்றை என் உயிரே எண்ணம் எதுவோ அது செய்வாய் கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையில் காதர் பெருக்கே தருவாயே கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையில் காதர் பெருக்கே தருவாயே. ஓம் அதிமதுர சாபஹஸ்தாம் அபரிமிதாம் மோதபான சௌபாக்யாம் அருணாம் அதிசய கருணாம் அபிநவ குலசுந்தரீம் வந்தே. ஓம் ஐம் ஹ்ரீம் ஸ்ரீம். சர்வவேதாந்த சித்தாந்த கோச்சரம் தமகோச்சரம் கோவிந்தம் பரமானந்தம் சத்குரும் பிரணதோஸ்ம்யஹம். Now we are seeing what is the nature of the self. So yesterday we stopped at 134, the verse number 134. We will chant it again. न जायते नो म्रियते न वर्धते न क्षीयते नो विकरोति नित्यः विलीयमानेऽपि वमुष्यमुष्मिन् न लीयते कुम्भ इवाम्बरं स्वयं. So this self, true self, which is absolute truth, is never born. Na jayate. No mriyate, it will never die also. Because at no point of time it can go into non-existent. Because it is always existent. So, no, na jayate, no mriyate. Na vardhate, since it is purnam, there is no sort of swelling. Nakshiyate, there is no deteriorating. No vikarayati, and it cannot change in any way. It is the same, nityam. It is the eternal, nityaha. Vapushyam viliyamani api. Even though the body, when it drops dead, na liyate kumbha ivambaram swayam. And this self never perishes. Like what? The pot space. Kumbha ivambaram. Pot space means what? The space in the pot. Even though the pot is broken, but nothing happens to the space. The space remains the same. Because the space is very, very subtle. And it is not conditioned by whatever is in the space. So therefore, whether the pot is there or not, the space is not conditioned. Similarly, whether the body is there or not, the self is not conditioned. Self remains the same. And the self is one without the second, meaning same self all for all beings. So that is a great revelation through our scriptures, To say that there is one self in each body, that is nothing great. To discover that the only one self is there through all the bodies of the past, present and the future. See? And that you are. My God, what a revelation. See, what we are studying is something, extraordinary. If you can really think about it for some time, my God, it's something extraordinary. So, as the self, we are the substratum of the whole universe. And we give light to the sun and the moon and to all beings, everything. So, that is the glory of the true self. Now, moving on to the next verse. Prakriti Vikruti Bhinna Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha Sada Sadadidam E Ashesham Bhasayan Nirvisheshaha Vilasati Paramatma Jagradhadishvavastha Tasu Aham ahamidi sakshat sakshi rupena buddhehe. Prakriti Vikruti Bhinna Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha Sada Sadidam Ashesham Bhasayan Nirvisheshaha Vilasati Paramatma Jagradadishvastasu Aham ahamiti sakshat Sakshi rupena buddhehe. Prakriti Vikruti Bhinnaha. Bhinnaha means it is different from Prakriti. Starting from Mahat Tattvam we say na, to all. Till this Deha Paryantam, the world, everything is Vikruti of the Prakriti. Prakriti means that Maya Tattvam or that Mula. Prakriti, nature, and everything is a modification of that Prakriti only, Vikruti. So this Atma, the self, is distinctly different from Prakriti or the effects or the modifications of the Prakriti. Shuddha Bodha Subhavaha. It is of the nature of true knowledge, pure consciousness. Everywhere it is repeated again and again and again. It is distinctly different from whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you feel, whatever you think. It all comes under the Prakriti and also the modifications of the Prakriti. But this is unique. So the knowledge aspect is unique. The intelligence is unique. And where the intelligence rises, that is the pure self. It is the source of all intelligence. Sad asad idam ashesham bhasayan. Here sad means gross, asad means subtle. In this context, in every context, the same word is used in a different way. See, generally sad asad means what? The existent or not non-existent, real or unreal. No? But here in this context, it is sad means the gross, asad means the subtle. So it illumines all the gross and the subtle, meaning the gross world of names and forms and subtle emotions and thoughts. So Bhasayan means it illuminates everything. Nirvishesham, by itself, it is unspecific, meaning not a specific manifestation. Unspecific means what? It is the awareness, which is not the awareness of something. It is awareness itself. It is not conscious of something. It is consciousness itself. So if you say, I am conscious of this book, then it is specific consciousness, right? Consciousness itself means nirvisheshaha. There is no specificity there. It is just the consciousness itself. So nirvisheshaha bhati. It shines on its own. Vilasati paramatma jagradadi dadishu avastasu. And this paramatma, the self, revels in all the three states. Effortlessly. He is available in all the three states. At the same time, he is not touched. He is not tainted by any of these three states. So he is beyond two. So Vilasati Paramatma, meaning he revels effortlessly, Jagradadishu avastas, in all the three states, without any problem. See, in the waking state, there is a waker, one who is experiencing the waking world. But this Sakshi, the Paramatma, is not the waker, or not the waking world, or not the experience in the waking world. He is Sakshi. He illuminates the waking world, but in no way he is involved, and no way he is bound. Similarly, the dream also. There is a dreamer and the dream world, the dream experience. He illuminates everything. Similarly, in deep sleep, there is absence of everything. So he illuminates the absence also, comfortably. So Vilasati Paramatma, Jagradadishu avastas, effortlessly he is present and he illuminates everything without conditioned by anything, without tainted by anything. That is Paramatma. Aham iti sakshat sakshi rupena buddhehe. And where is he available? In the Vijnanamaya Kosha. When you turn your attention and when you enter into the cave of the heart, he is available as what? Aham iti sakshat. See, this is the same word is used by Bhagavan also. Hridaya guhara madhye kevalam brahma matram. Aham iti sakshat atma rupena bhati. So here, aham iti sakshat sakshi rupena buddhehe. He is available in the core of one's personality. See, buddhehe means the core of one's personality. As what? Aham iti. As the self only. As I told you the other day, we can experience only the self. After dropping all the equipments, what you can experience is experience only one's own existence. Not anything else. I am. Like one's own existence only we can experience after dropping all the equipments. When you drop the equipments, you cannot experience anything else because everything else is experienced only through thoughts, through Manabuddhi. When Manabuddhi is dropped, the third person or the single person loses its meaning. Even the first person, his essence as the pure existence is only realized. Aham iti, only it can be realized. You understand? So he is a Sakshi, illuminating everything, not tainted by anything. As I told you the other day, like the Nataka Deepa Prakarana. Nataka Deepa. Nataka Deepa means what? Those days, in the stage, the Deepa is there. Nataka Deepa. The light which is illumining. Not this kind of electrical bulb or anything. It is a jyoti or the whatever lamp is lit and it is illuminating the stage. So when the drama goes on, all the scenes are illuminated by the jyoti, by the lamp. And when the drama is over also, the absence of everybody is illuminated. The empty stage is illuminated by the light. But when there is a very beautiful duet, sort of a dance going on between the hero and heroine, the light is not excited. When the heroine goes off, the hero is, grief-stricken, and he, sohama parrar, the light also will not become very sohamayam. Light is the same, it's not involved. And whatever happens in the drama, light is not affected. When the drama is over, the light doesn't become very sad. Everything is over, what will I do now? So that lamp is just burning, irrespective of whatever is happening. When everything is gone also, still the lamp is glowing. The absence also is eliminated. That is my true nature. So that is how we have to live also. Whatever comes, whatever goes, nothing should affect us, and we should remain in our own true nature. It is not that you are involved with everything. At the same time, you are not involved with anything. See, this is very strange. But when we observe the great Mahatmas, like last time when I was there in Rishikesh, I was observing our Acharyaji. He was comfortable with everybody, speaking with everybody, ha ha, hoo and all. But I know he's with nobody. Nobody means what? He is with himself. So when that experience is over, it is dropped. It is not carried on the head. And he is very fresh. Why? He is not carrying the burden of any experience. When the experience happens, yes, you are in and through the experience. But the experience is over means it's over. It's dropped. So through memories and through sort of foolish interaction, we carry the burden of the memory. But no memory is carried. Everything is dropped. And you remain very pure and fresh for the next experience. When you are overburdened with the memories of the previous experience, you cannot be 100% in the present experience. Your mind is preoccupied. See, that is why a boy falls in love with a girl. He is always preoccupied with his beloved. So he cannot enjoy the world. And that stupid girl also, she is not worthy of it because she is ordinary girl only, pavam. She also has got her own vasanas, desires, everything. She is also ignorant. But this fellow thinks she is everything. Oh, she will give me anandam, he thinks. She herself is very, very miserable. How can she give anandam to you? When a person, see, everybody is miserable in this world now. How can a miserable person give happiness to anybody? So he thinks, when I get her, I will be the cloud 9, my God. See, I used to narrate this katha, this story in the youth camps, It is very well received and very applauded, this story. You all know, I suppose. Once, in a jungle, there was a Mahatma sitting and meditating. Really a tapasvi meditating. And he was meditating for hours together. And a youngster was passing that side. And he was so impressed by this Mahatma. He was waiting there. After some time, the Mahatma opened his eyes. Then this youngster asked the Mahatma, Mahatma ji, you are wonderful. So how did you become such a great Mahatma? Why did you become a Mahatma? He said, I loved a girl and she ditched me. So I have become a Mahatma. Oh, power. Then he proceeded, he walked further. And then on the way he saw another Mahatma, still with bigger dadi and kator tapas. So he tapped him and asked, what about you? Why have you become Mahatma? That girl whom that other fellow loved, I married her. So this fellow thinks, if I get her, everything is done. After getting her, only he knows what it is. So therefore, all these things, have no meaning actually. So we think, and we are not available in the present. See, the mother comes in front. She is so loving and caring, but this boy is always. The friends come. So when you don't carry anybody or anything, then you are pure, fresh, available for the present experience. The perfect man's mind is like a mirror. It accepts everything, rejects nothing, reflects everything, and retains nothing. The most beautiful definition of a perfect man. His mind is like a mirror. When you go in front of the mirror, mirror will reflect anybody, everybody. It will not say, oh, this fellow is very ugly, I will not reflect him, go away, It will not say. Whatever may be the person, it reflects. It accepts everybody, rejects nobody. It reflects everybody. When that person has gone, the image is gone, retains nothing. So like that, if we can live our lives, not getting caught in anything or anybody, then we are leading a spiritual life. So this Mahatma is in and through every experience, but he is not caught or not tainted or conditioned by any experience. This is true freedom. Only when you are totally detached, you can love the world truly, and you can serve. When you get attached, you cannot love the whole world. You can love only one or two, and you are always miserable. Because when you are at the mercy of one or two, then you are always miserable. See, these things are not taught anywhere. After finishing everything, we late jnanam. After growing older only we realize, oh, so if I had known this when I was very young, I could have avoided so many, tragedies or miseries. But better luck next time. So aham aham iti sakshat sakshi rupena bhati. It shines as the true self in the cave of the heart. Now moving on. Now the one verse is given, and Gurudev has titled it as Advice for Self-Control. Niyamita manasamum tvam Swamatmanam atmani Ayam ahamiti sakshad Vidhi buddhi prasadad Jani marana taranga Para samsara sindhum Pratara bhava kritartaha Brahma rupena samstaha Niyamita manasamum Tvam swamatmanam atmani Ayam ahamidi sakshad Vidhi buddhi prasadat Jani marana taranga Para samsara sindhum Pratara bhava kritartaha Brahma rupena samstaha Niyamita manasa. Niyamita manasa means with well controlled mind. With a mind under one's buddhi, under one's control. Niyamita manasa. Buddhi prasadat. The second line, the last word, buddhi prasadat. When you have controlled your mind, and when the buddhi is not shaky or agitated, it is very peaceful and steady. Buddhi prasadat. Amum tvam swam atmanam atmani. Ayam ahamidi sakshat vidhi. If you realize swam atmanam, in one's own self, ayam ahamidi, and this is the pure self, and which is the substratum of everything, and which is the illuminator of everything, if you realize that way, then what happens? Jani Marana Taranga Para Samsara Sindhum. You cross over. That person crosses over the ocean of samsara, which is full of the waves of ups and downs. Bhava Kritartaha, and he becomes very fulfilled. Brahma Rupena Samstaha, by abiding, by remaining in that Brahma Swarupam. So, meaning what? Without the control of mind, if you allow the mind to roam in the field of its own pleasure, then nothing happens. The buddhi is always, agitated and not very sharp or clear. So, to know the self, the mind should be under your control, not allowed to roam here and there. Atma samstam manakritva kinchidabina chintaye, says Bhagavad Gita in 6th chapter. So you have to keep the mind in the heart. So then when everything is quietened, then what happens? Very clear within our own self that this self, which is beyond even the experience or experienced duality, this self is the true self, in which there is nothing other than the self. All the names and forms, whatever you consider as Jagat, the name and form, everything merges in it. So that is the self, and that I am. If you realize it in the core of your heart, then alone you cross over the ocean of samsara. If you somehow realize the self and still believe that there is a world outside, then that realization is not perfect. It is very faulty actually. When you realize the self, and in that if you find there is nothing other than the self, meaning all the names and forms, everything you have perceived before is now self only. This should be the vision. Then the knowledge is perfect. You understand what I am saying? Initially, it is I versus rest. Now, I alone, and everything is included in it. Means what? Nothing is excluded. Everything is I only. So, there is not I versus rest. It is I. So, in Tamil, they say, Pilavu patta unarvu nilai, Pilavu padada unarvu nilai. When you are in the ego state, idu pilavu patta unarvu nilai. The consciousness is as if divided into two. Pilavu pattaj. It's divided into as the experiencer and experienced. When you are remaining or abiding in the self, the consciousness is unbroken. Meaning what is not divided into the experiencer and experienced. See, this is the miracle actually. When you abide in the self, there is no more experiencer different from experienced. It is one. How? You cannot understand from the field of ahankara. So that ahankara creates this bheda. So that when the ahankara is removed, then you need not know it actually. That is revealed by itself. So therefore, when you abide there, then alone you cross the ocean of samsara. When all the bheda bhavana is gone, then there is only true love and compassion. There is no hatred. There is no feeling of jealousy. There is no desire. Who is there to desire for whom? For what? There is no desire. There is no hatred. There is no fear. When there is no two, where is the fear? So you have crossed the ocean of samsara. Otherwise not. And then you can become kritartaha. Everything is done. Whatever needs to be done is done. That is called kritartaha. See, when you feel that purnata, everything is full, everything is auspicious, I don't lack anything, then there are no desires. See, as long as desires are lurking, then there is an idea. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to fulfill this. When the Purana Bhavam, when there is nothing other than the self, who is there to desire what he will desire? So, for him there is nothing to be done, nothing more to be done, nothing to achieve, nothing to prove to anybody. Kritak Kritartaha means he is totally fulfilled. He has done everything what needs to be done. Meaning what? Nothing more he will aspire for. So that state, Dhanyosi Kritakrityosi, the Guru said, no, you are blessed, oh dear, and you are fulfilled now. He says, no. Since you have asked the right question, come to the right place, already you are blessed. That's what the Guru says now. So therefore, Bhavakritartaha Brahma Rupena Samstaha. Having abiding in the self, in the Brahma Rupam, he becomes fulfilled. Now moving on to the next topic. He asked, na, Konama Bandhaha Kutameva Agataha. What is this bondage? From where it has come? How it is persisting? And how it can be removed? That's what he asked now. So now the subject of bondage is taken. What is bondage is explained again. See, earlier also he has explained, but again he is explaining different, ways he is explaining. Atranatmanyahami matihi Bhandha yeshosya pumsaha Praptau jnana janana marana Klesha sampata hetuhu Yenaivayam vapuridam asat Satyamityatma buddhya Pushyatyukshatyavati vishayaihi Tantu bikkosha kridvat. See, what is the bondage? This is the bondage. Atra anatmani ahamiti matihi bandha. In this, atra means in this, anatmani, whatever we have seen as anatma, starting from the ahamdi till deha paryantam, till the body. So anatma we seen, not self we have seen. Na? So in that anatma vastu, ahamiti matihi, you feel it is me, it is myself, you feel. The deham you see and you see, this is myself, this is me. And when thoughts and emotions come in the mind, you identify completely with that. I am happy, I am sad, I am miserable. I got an idea. Meaning what? You identify totally with the anatmas. So this is bandha. Again and again repeated. This is bandhanam. Asya pumsa praptau ajnana janana marana klesha sampata hetuhu. And having attained to this state of jivahood, pumsaha praptau ajnanat, because of his ignorance of his true self, janana marana klesha sampata hetuhu, and he goes through all the miseries of janana marana, the birth and death and rebirth. So very simple. If you can see yourself as the self and remain there, not identifying with the not self, that is the body mind, the ahankara, can remain like that, then you are done. Adukkaga dhaan ivlo kashtapadrar. To explain that only he is taking so much of efforts. But you know what? We may hear it 1,000 times, but still we do the same mistake. Because our mind is so clouded with tamas and rajas. It's very difficult. When we are attending the satsang, when we are in the class, everything is clear. Absolutely wonderful. But when you get out of it, jump into the world, the rajas and tamas overtakes. Then what? Same rut. So, what is the spiritual sadhana? All throughout, when you can be quiet and alert, vigilant, watch your own mind. Are we identified with something, or are we just remaining as oneself? Or in other words, if at all you are disturbed by something, or if at all you feel sad about something, miserable, it means somehow you are identified with the not self. That is the only reason. Do not blame others or the world or God for your miseries. Immediately you pause and take a step behind and see what has happened. You will find that you have identified with the not self. Something which you are not, and you have accepted the dharma of the not self as your dharma. Then you are in samsara. You are buffeted. And sukha dukkha. Whatever we take it as sukha, is dukkha only. Because it is in the mind. So therefore, ajnana janana marana klesha sampata hetuhu. So he is afflicted by the jana marana. And that becomes the cause for the jana marana. What is the cause? This bandhanam. What is the bandhanam? Taking the not self to be the self. See, are you able to understand what I am saying? Not self and the self. Taking the not self as oneself. Are you able to understand? If you don't understand, then let God help you. Because we have been talking only about that. For the past 10 days, we have been talking only about this. If you had been careful listening properly, then you would have understood. At least you would have come to me and asked some few doubts. If you are not understood and if you don't care to clarify also, it means you are not interested. It means you have come to the course for the camp just to time pass. Time pass means what? பொழுது போல வீட்டில் சும்மா போவோமே கேம்புக்கு. Some people go to such camps and courses for socializing also. For making some friends. சும்மா பொழுது போல வீட்டில் என்ன செய்யறது? இங்கே போவோம். See, actually speaking, if you go to Mylapore, every day evening something or other is happening in Mylapore. There are so many sabhas, so many institutions, some kacheri, some pravachana, something going on. And people have got a beautiful lifestyle. Evening archana, they just take a bag and they go to one of the sabha. Everything is free. And you enjoy music or pravachanam, nothing serious. You enjoy and come back. And they lead a wonderful life actually. But if you go with that attitude, very light-hearted, nothing to, nothing to know or seriously pursue, சும்மா போய் கேட்போமே சாயங்காலம் பொழுது போல. We'll go. அது மாதிரி போனா no, they are called as professional satsangis. They go to all sabhas, all pravachana, no discrimination. And they go to all kacheri, all dance program. See, at least they are happy. We should appreciate that. Instead of being in the house and crying, making everybody miserable, at least for 2-3 hours they get out and there is peace in the house. Can't, yes. But that is during kacheri time. I mean kacheri time. See, people don't go for music. They go for the food, very tasty food. In sabhas, they give good food actually. But you have to pay a lot, huh? Food you have to pay a lot. Very costly. Chumma kadayadu. Maybe the music is free, but the food is very costly. So like that, if you have a casual approach, சரி இந்த கோர்ஸுக்கு போய் தான் பார்ப்போமே என்ன தான் சொல்கிறாருன்னு அப்படின்னா you will not understand, you will not try to understand also. If you are a seeker, if you are very serious about it, sincere about it, if you want to know, then there is no excuse. of your not understanding. If you don't understand, the Acharya is there, you can come and ask him. If you don't bother to ask him also, it means what? You don't care. So again and again it is said, the real problem, the bandhanam is, you are unable to know what your true self is. Instead, you consider the not self as a self. And all the dharma of the not self, you put on your head and you suffer. So this is the bandhanam. And this is hetu. This is the cause for transmigration. Again and again to be born here. Yena eva ayam vapuhu idam asat satyamiti atma buddhya. See, this body, vapuhu means this body, is asat, is not real. Because in the deep sleep it is not available. Only in the waking and dream. And dream also a different body is available. So it is not sat, asat it is. But you take it to be very real. So when you take the body to be very real, you take your relationships to be very real, your property, your savings, everything very, very serious. And then you take this life as a very real. And when something goes wrong, you are unable to accept it because you have given so much reality to this world, which is changing and which is ashashvatam. You have given so much reality to it, you think as if it is going to remain the same. But heart of the hearts, you know it will not. But still you feel it is going to remain the same. But when something goes wrong, when something happens, then you are hit really. See, vapuhu idam asat is actually unreal, but satyam iti atma buddhya, and you think it is very real and it is atma buddhya, it is me. And to give happiness or to nourish this body, we go on doing things. So when somebody gives happiness to this body, I like them, I love them. If not, I hate them. Raga dvesha. And then samsara. Sukha dukkha, samsara. Pushyati. That pushyati ukshatyavati vishayehi. And then he pursues the sense objects incessantly, considering oneself to be the body. Then he caters to the body's demands. What is the life? To cater into the body's demands, that's all. What is the body demand? Comfort of the body. Want a nice house, air conditioned, everything, in its place. Other comfort. And second, whatever the body demands means what? Indulgences, taste, everything, touch. So then he goes on incessantly going behind the objects only, not thinking of anything. Like what, like how he lives, Tantubihi kosha kridvat, meaning like the silkworm in its own cocoon, bound by its own thread. Tantubihi means thread. So from its own thread, it binds itself and it lives in that cocoon. It cannot come out. Only when it becomes a proper butterfly or whatever, pattu puchi dane. Sorry, not butterfly, pattu puchi. No, but it comes out. It comes out after becoming, என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க பட்டு பூச்சிக்கு? Butterfly? Silkworm. No, pattu, butterfly only, it becomes butterfly only, na? Yeah, that's what. It becomes butterfly. But in the cocoon, it remains as the worm only. That is the period which it wants to evolve. But here he says, this jiva, in his own ignorance, he is attached to the body and he is miserable inside his own cocoon. Out of his own thoughts, he has made a cocoon. What is a cocoon? Get up, go for work, earn more, and then indulge more. And then wife and children also what? Extension of oneself only. Because they give happiness to you, so I take care of them. Or there is no other choice in Talavidhi, so I take care of them. And then he goes round and round and round. And he has got some dream house, dream car he wants, dream wife, and he lives only in the dream world. Where you want to be in the next 10 years, where you want to be in the next 20 years, 30 years. If you ask somebody, always they say in the world of materialistic prosperity, I want to be a CEO of this company. I want to have this kind of a wealth. I want to have this kind of a name or whatever. Some standing in the society. That much only we know. We do not know anything else more than that. See, at least in this part of the world, from the childhood onwards, we have been listening. We have been hearing this. What? There is something called as moksha. It's not everything. There is something higher. But if you go to other parts of the world, actually speaking, very sad, they are not even exposed to this idea. Not much. See, most of the people now in Europe and US and all, not religious or not, not to do anything with all these things, scriptures. They say they are very proud of calling themselves as atheists, non-believers. So whatever is told to them is only material pursuits. So after 60, 70, they don't know what else to do with life. They have done everything, and now what? What to do? They don't know what to do. Actually, they don't know what to do. They watch some films, some movies, they go to some parties, and they go for some, this bridge. What they call? The cards. It's longer bridge than is it? They don't know what else to do. They do something. And then from the house to the senior citizen living, and from there to the nursing home, and from there to the grave. This is their journey. Because the children have left long before, and they come only on the Thanksgiving Day or Christmas. That's all. Two, 3 times they meet, I suppose. Some people, they have got some good children, they often visit. But then what happens? See, when they start their life, they go for big houses. I have seen in US. My God, palatial, big houses they go. 1 or 2 children they get, and they live royal life. And when the children go to university, they don't know what else to do. When they go to university, yat gatva na nivartante. They don't come back because they don't want to come back. They want to go somewhere else and earn. They don't want to live anywhere near the parents because they don't want them to control them. Our Indian parents, they go on controlling. No? They want freedom. Whatever I want to do, I want to do. That is freedom. They will not listen to anybody. They are independent. I know everything, you shut up. So they go away. And these people, they don't know what to do with this big house. To maintain the house is very difficult. Then they go for downsizing the house. And after 70, they live in the downsized house. And then they say even to cook is difficult now. So you go into the community living, senior community living. And there also when he becomes very this thing, nobody will come and look after. The state will take care, suppose. So nursing home is pushed. And from the nursing home to the grave. Thank God the body stinks after it is fallen dead. Nobody can tolerate it. Somehow the corporation, somebody will dispose it of. So this is the life. We do not know what else to do with life. And the same rut continues. But for the other people who are following other beliefs, for them only one life. And then you go to heaven or hell, finished. You have done something wrong, you will go to the hell and doomed eternally. So if he is a good God, compassionate God, will he ever do that? No. You have done something wrong. That is it. You are doomed forever. Judgment day comes and then the judgment is given. He is weighed. His sins are weighed. Oh my God, it's very bad. Go. And we have done good. Go to heaven. How long? Always you can be in heaven. In heaven what? Enjoyment only. You dance with the virgins and indulge. That is what is their goal. Here also enjoyment is a goal, and then you go to the heaven also enjoy only. That is all their goal. That is all their idea of, existence here. Imagine how cheap it is, how immature and childish it is. You go there and here also you enjoy. If you behave properly, you go there also and enjoy. That is good. If you don't behave properly, gone. See, this is blackmailing actually. This is not religion. This is blackmailing. No, why you say mullah even our religion also? Why you only say mullah? Pavam there. Why are you always blaming mullahs? Even in our religion they say, na, nee narakathukku dhaan pova. At least in our religion they say, God is kind enough to give you another opportunity to improve, another birth. But there no other birth. Eternally doomed. So we don't know anything else apart from this. Very sad, I tell you. See, people are so enticed by dollars. Because $1 is now 85 rupees. But only when you earn in dollars and spend in rupees, it is 85 rupees. But when you earn in dollars and spend in dollars, it's only $1, please. That people forget, you know. People forget. See, a middle class family in India or middle class family in US is the same. Almost same. At least here they save more. There very little they save. Only saving is their house, mortgage. Otherwise it's difficult. But you know what? Dollar. So in the pursuit of dollar, they lose their self, they lose their soul. Why? Their children are gone. Yat gatva na nivartante. And in that society, see, all going to temple, festival is all fine. And then, you know, Carnatic music, dance is all fine. But beyond that, what? Nothing. Beyond that, nothing. See, that's all socializing. Bhuktaye natu muktaye, I am telling you. Bhuktaye natu muktaye. It is all for enjoyment only. The Carnatic musician also, he is singing for enjoyment, for applause. And those who are listening also, they don't understand anything about Carnatic music. They, and Bhuktaye, Natu Muktaye. That is a status symbol, you know. Nowadays I go to Carnatic music, Kacheri also, Markadi festival. Nowadays I go and attend Gita classes also, you know. That is a status symbol also. I attend Gita classes now. So Bhuktaye, Natu Muktaye. Actually speaking, we don't know what else to do in life. And our elders also here, they don't know what else to do in life. So they have got the mobile phone. They forget their wives. Only mobile phone. Or they want to escape from their wives, I don't know. Only mobile phone. When you have nothing to do, mobile comes to your rescue. So he lives miserably, he dies miserably. And Punarapi Jananam, the same thing continues again and again and again. And only thing what is need to be done is discrimination. To understand what is my true self and not to get identified with the not self. Only very rare who live this knowledge. There are very many who can talk about this knowledge, who can give beautiful lectures on this. But there are very few rare Mahatmas, very quiet, not very popular also, but they live this knowledge sincerely. And they are blessed. And they attain to that supreme padam, that parama padam. Others just, they go away. Like what? They live like a worm in the cocoon, in their own cocoon. What is the cocoon? Bodily comforts, sense indulgence, some name and fame, some sort of thing always there, like a cocoon they live. They live a miserable life, but they don't even know it is miserable. And they lead a miserable life in that cocoon.
But ultimately it evolves into beautiful.
That evolves, but this fellow dies. You should not stretch the example, you know. See, this is the problem. You hear only about the worm, it is spoken, cocoon, living in its cocoon. Then this fellow will not evolve as a beautiful human being when he is always identified with the not self and always pursuing this sense objects. How can he evolve like that? Maybe if he gets hit again and again and again, then some vairagya can come. There also he has to withdraw, then only he become a sort of a good human being or evolve. As long as he is always in that rut, indulging always and pursuing only the worldly things, and maximum what? Some more relationships. If he has got a wife, some more girlfriends. What else he knows? Nothing else. More money means more indulgence. That's all. What else he knows? Huh? Tell me. How can he then evolve, improve? He can never. Therefore, it is beautifully said, he lives in his own cocoon, like the silkworm, but he never evolves. Okay, so what has to be done? Atasmin tat buddhi prabhavati vimudasya tamasa viveka bhavatvai sfurati ka bhavadvai sfurati bhujage rajjudishana tato nartavrato nipatati samadhaturadikaha tato yo sadgraha sahi bhavati bandhashrunusake. Atasmin tat buddhihi prabhavati vimudasya tamasa. Tamasa, because of that tamas, that wailing power, vimudasya, to this fool, vimuda means to this fool, what he thinks, atasmin tad buddhihi prabhavati. What happens in him? See this phrase, atasmin tad vriddhi. Atasmin tad means what? Atasmin tad means, here Gurudev says, in this, the idea of that. See, atasmin tad. Atasmin in this. This means this body mind. Tat, that means the supreme self, or the absolute truth, or the self, true self, supreme self. So he has got this problem in him. Because of tamas, he has not known his true self. This fool, he thinks this to be that. See how beautiful. Atasmin tad buddhi. His buddhi is what? Atasmin tad buddhi. It's a phrase actually. Atasmin tad buddhi. In this, he thinks it is that. That means the truth, the self. In this means in the anatma, in the body mind. So in the anatma, he has the notion of atma. So that is what called as atasmin tad buddhi. Prabhavati. How it happens? Tamasa. Because of the tamas it happens. Viveka abhavadvai. Why it happens? Because he lacks in discrimination. No proper discrimination between the self and the not self. Sfurati bhujage rajjudishana. See, here there is a twist. Initially I was not aware of the twist. When I read the commentary of Gurudev only, here the twist is what? Bhujage rajjudishana. See, the idea of rope in the snake. See, always we are given this example, na? We misunderstand the rope as the snake. But here the opposite is given. He wants some rope to tie something. He searches and there was a snake moving. Out of his, his the excitement, he catches the snake, thinking it is rope. That is what he said. Bhujage rajjudishana. In the snake, he has got an idea of rope. Then what will happen? It is still worse. Is it not so? At least in the rope, if he has got a snake vision, only fear is there. But in the snake, if he has got the rope vision, he will go and touch it or lift it. What will happen? Tongue. So, tataha arthavrataha nipatati, arthavrato nipatati, samadhatu, samadhatu adhikaha. What happens? What happens? Anartham only afterwards. If he identifies with the not self and he thinks that is to be his own self, it is like catching the snake alive, thinking that it is a rope. So, catching the body mind as oneself instead of oneself. So, anartham only afterwards. Anartha vrataha nipatati, he falls into what? This miserable existence, anartham only. Anartham, miserable existence. Samadhatuhu adhikaha, samadhatur adhikaha. Meaning what? And he suffers here. Tato yaha asadgrahaha sahi bhavati bandha shrunusake. Shrunusake, dear friend. Sake means friend. Please listen. Tataha yaha asadgrahaha sahi bhavati bandhaha. This attachment towards the not self and thinking the not self to be the self, this is the cause for bondage. Please listen, oh dear friend. He is addressing his student as friend now. See? How beautiful. Shunu suke. Shunu means please listen. Sake, dear friend. This attachment towards the asad, not self, and considering oneself to be that is the root cause of all bondage. You ask now from where the bondages come? So for that he has explained what is not self initially, thoroughly, and then he explained what is the self. And now he says, if this is not self, this is self, because you don't have proper discrimination. Your buddhi is covered, veiled by the tamas. You take the not self as a self, as though catching the snake, thinking it is a rope. And all the miseries, all the trouble starts. You will fall into the samsara. Therefore, O friend, please understand, please listen. This attachment towards the asat, not self, anatma, and living as the anatma, the not self, that is the bandha hetuhu, that is the root cause of all bandhanam. So if this is understood very clearly, see, this is what is very important. If you go to your doctor, nowadays what they do, you take this test, this scan, that scan. He is not a good doctor. I would not say he is a doctor at all. What nonsense is this? You spend 10,000, 20,000, 100,000. For everything you go and take this, that. And why are you here? When everything is done, then he will write medicine and go, die your death. Those days, they naadiya path, they know what is the ailment. And they diagnose beautifully. And some people looking at your eyes, the color of your eyes, throat, every tongue, they know everything. But these fellows don't know anything. Chomma, you take this test, that test, this scan, that scan. So if you have diagnosed it rightly, then the cure is very easy. If you don't diagnose it, only if you treat the symptoms, you will go on treating the symptoms. Muttaltanama, moodattanama, you go on treating the symptom. My head is aching. Okay, take paracetamol. Why it is aching? Because there is a head, it is aching. Our Acharya says, whenever the students go and complain, Swamiji, I have got a headache. Hey, it's a good news. It means you have a head. It's a good news. There may be some indigestion, that's why the head may be aching, or sinus problem, whatever. But for everything, one solution. It will not work. Sometimes it may lead to severe consequences. So diagnosis is very important. When you know why the ailment, what is really troubling, then we can suggest a cure. So here clearly the problem is diagnosed. This is it. And then it's very easy. What you have to do now? Nothing. Don't fall for this misunderstanding. That's all. As simple as that. Further, what you should do, in fact, you should not do anything. Just be aware. Whenever this self is identifying the body mind, be aware. Oh my God, this is happening now. That's all. Once when you become aware, this detachment happens. When you are very, very, alert, that is sattva is very important to be alert. And once when you recognize, oh, this is happening, then what? You need not do anything. Automatically the standing apart happens. That is all. But if you expect something to drastically change in the world, it will not happen. World has its own course. Similarly, the body mind has its own course. Your wife and children may have their own course. Everybody is born here to live their life and reach their own destinations. Nobody can change. Even though your own child you cannot change, you need not change also. There is a God who is there to take care of everybody. So what you can do is not to identify with the anatma and to live as Atma, the self. And whatever you are supposed to do, go on doing without getting attached. That is all to be done. And enjoy. Enjoy means what? Everything is beautiful. Nothing is ugly here. So enjoy life. That is what needs to be done. So Acharya again and again says, what sadhana we need to do? When you know that this is the problem, what sadhana you need to do? Nothing to be done. It is undoing, not to identify and to remain apart, stand apart. Therefore, when it comes to Vedanta sadhana, it is very subtle and it is not available for perception. Others cannot know what you are doing because it is very subjective. So therefore, it is very simple. Oh, Shunusuke, please listen, my dear friend. Tataha, therefore, yaha asadgrahaha. You are attached to the asad, unreal, not self. Sahi bhavati bandhaha. That is the reason for your bondage and suffering here. Akanda nidya dvaya bodha shaktya. Surantamatmanam ananta vaibhavam. Samavrunotya vruta shaktireshesha. Samavrunotya vruti shaktirashesha. Ashesha illa. Avruti shaktiresha. Tamo mayirahuriva rivarka bimbam. Tami rahurivarka bimbam. Akanda nidya dvaya bodha shaktya. Sfurantamatmanam ananta vaibhavam. Samavrunotya vruti shaktiresha. Tamo mayirahurivarka bimbam. Akanda nitya advaya bodha shaktya sfurantam atmanam ananta vaibhavam. Aha. How beautifully expressed. Akanda means what? Unbroken. Akanda. Nitya means eternal, always the same, always present. Advaya, non-dual. Bodha shaktya. Because of that, abiding in the true knowledge, bodha shaktya, sfuranti, it rises. What rises? Atmanam ananta vaibhavam. Means that ananta vaibhavam, the infinite glory of Atma jnana rises. Or that ananda is experienced. Because of the abidance in the self, which is akhanda, unbroken, nitya, ever present, one without the second, the pure consciousness, there rises this Atma Bodha, this Atmanubhuti, which is Ananta Vaibhavam. Ananta Vaibhavam means what? In its infinite glory. Ananta Vaibhavam. When this is the case of everyone, in us also this is the case, but what happens? Avrunoti Avruti Shakti Resha. But because of that Avruti Shakti, tamas, the veiling power, this Atma, the self, which is Ananta Vaibhavam, is as if covered. Avruti Shaktiya means because of this veiling power, Avrunoti means it is covered as if. Which is covered, this Paramatma, the self, is covered as if. Tamomayi Rahurivarka Bimbam is very tamasic in nature, this Avrana Shakti, this Avruti Shakti. Then what happens? As if the Rahu swallows the sun during the eclipse. Then this Tamomayi, this Ajnanamaya Avruti Shakti, as if swallows this Atma Jnana. See, according to our mythology or the ancient scriptures, it is said the Rahu, he swallows the sun. That is why there is eclipse. But we all know why there is eclipse, solar eclipse. But it is sort of symbolically or sort of, or madri, dramatically it is expressed as if Rahu, a sort of a asura or whatever, he is swallowing the sun. Therefore there is eclipse. So here the Tamomayi, the tamasic Avrutta Shakti, the veiling power is compared to Rahu. And this Adbhuta Ananta Vaibhavam, this Atma Bodham is referred to the sun. So this Rahu can never swallow the sun. There can never be an eclipse from the sun standpoint. We are in the earth, so only we are seeing the eclipse. From the sun standpoint, there is no obstruction. There is no eclipse. So as if when we are in ignorance, the Tamomayi Avrutta Shakti, it covers and as if it swallows the Atma Jnanam, and there is darkness, Jnanam. In that we live and we suffer. So like Rahu swallowing the sun, this Avrutta Shakti, Maya Shakti, veiling power, it swallows Ananta Vaibhavam, wonderful Atma Bodham, it swallows. And as if we don't know it. And when you don't know, you imagine wonderful things, which is not. And then you get attached to it, thinking that is the real thing. And when you get attached to the asat, unreal, what remains is sorrow, miseries. So, O Sakhe, O friend, understand this is the problem. So, Tamomayi, because of tamas, the veiling happens. And because of Rajas Vikshepa, the misunderstanding or seeing something else happens. Only through developing, cultivating Sattva, you see things clearly as they are. When you see things clearly as they are, and if you don't identify with the not self, you don't get attached to the world outside, then you are your own self and you are in Ananda. Swamiji, is this pursuit not very selfish? See, when the world is suffering, there are so many wars going on, so much of refugee camps, so many children are dying, and you talk about all this, always, self. Are you not very selfish? Yoga Swami says, Yesu vandan, Buddhan vandan, Yavanda ulagata tirthanan, avanavan thanni tirthi kondu ponan, he says. He says, Yesu came and Jesus, Jesus came and Buddha came. Who improved, who sort of reformed this world? They reformed themselves and they have gone. Meaning what? See, beyond the point, whatever has to happen will be happening. It is not that you should say, it's all their prarabdha. No. Whatever you are able to do, help, you should help one. Paropakartam idam shariram. But the priority is, when you know the true self, that is the end of all ajnana and suffering. You may not see a world to improve, to reform. You may not see a self who is wanting to reform. That is something else actually. That is why when somebody asked Bhagavan, when the Second World War is going, you are not doing anything. You are just sitting quiet. Bhagavan said, if something is happening in my dream, what can I do? What an example. If something is happening in our dream, what we can do actually in the waking state? In the waking state, what can you do about the dream? So that is their standpoint. And they are very sincere about it, they stand there. We are half-baked here and there. So when you know the self, even the vision of the world or the Nama-Rupa Jagat vanishes. And even the individual self vanishes. And the truth, which is Paramatma, the Brahma Swaroopa, is revealed. And that is the end of the story. We see a world because we are ignorant about the self. Jagadrish Ninginale Odiya Atma Darshanam Undahadu. The vision of world should disappear, then only the Atma Darshanam will happen. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, in who am I? So therefore, this is the thing. For this only we have come here or whatever. So, we have to work on it. Om Purnamadha Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudhachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.